Transition.
Hi, people. Welcome back. This is Bias and Unbiased. I'm Sanjay,
I'm Sonia.
and today we will be discussing a very controversial topic. Which women should you not marry?
Should you be specific in the woman you marry or not? Because I feel like you can marry anyone. The same way I can marry whoever I want, like whoever man, whichever.
Yes, you can marry whoever you want,
Mhm.
but
There are some specific type of men I wouldn't marry. Yes.
yes.
Mhm.
And so I saw this post somewhere,
Okay.
and I
Okay.
thought it's a topic worth discussing.
Discussing.
So first, uh, women to avoid dating, not even marrying, dating. Yani, okay, the whole shebang. If she has daddy issues, me, I don't think daddy issues are as bad
Compared to
compared to mommy issues. I might be
biased.
biased.
I think okay. Personally, as a man,
Mm-hmm.
I might not be willing to marry a woman who has daddy issues. Do you know why?
Why?
Because sometimes if their father was abusive or
Mm-hmm.
si lazima ikuwe daddy issues ni the good things,
Yeah,
inakuwa ni the bad things.
yeah.
So every time you try to or controlling, every time me as a man try to guide her or tell her things like I don't want you doing this, I don't want you doing this does
Mm-hmm.
not sit well with me, you start feeling like I'm controlling or I'm treating you the same way your daddy treated you. So
Mm.
no, I wouldn't also as a man, if I was a man, marry a girl who has daddy issues.
I don't think daddy issues is a big deal because I find that daddies are not as controlling to relationships
Mm.
as the moms.
But okay, it is not about the controlling, it is about the trauma that comes
Yeah,
from it.
yeah.
Because every other time you'll see maybe if your dad was abusive,
Mm-hmm.
every time your man react to something, you will
You'll feel some type of way or
yes
react in
in a
a
different
different
way,
way.
even when they do not mean it. Kama kuambiwa I don't want you doing this, I don't like you doing this, generally hata wewe as a person there's something a man will do and you'll feel like okay babe, I don't want you doing this. It has nothing to do with your mommy or your daddy, you just don't want it, you don't feel okay with it. Does that makes you controlling?
No, no, no.
But if your dad was controlling everything he said in the house has to be done his ways, then if a man tell you that, you'll start feeling like this man is controlling as my dad wants.
Yeah, maybe,
Thank you.
maybe in that perspective, but how I'm seeing it is in the terms of controlling. Like, I don't find men trying to control a relationship like those guys with mommy. I don't know who are mommy's boys. They're like always consulting their mommy to do this, to do that. So I don't think it's that bad, but I get it.
Unajua also there are men who have money but they control the women, the men their daughters date.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's true.
So that the issue I
But
wouldn't.
now the problem is, how do you identify if she has daddy issues?
The way she reacts to correction, the way
Mm.
she reacts when something that's not supposed to be triggering and then
Triggers her.
it triggers her, the way
Hmm.
you just like every other time you're just like my daddy, oh you're just like my dad, oh you're just like my dad, oh my dad this,
My
still
dad will
as
never do that.
yes, also kuna wale they are obsessed with their dads.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
every time you do something like some at this point maybe their dad was very wealthy and they used to treat your mom in a certain way. You
Mm.
as a man, you're just struggling to just make end meet. So every time she will expect you to treat you the same way their dads treated her. Every time
Mm.
she needed something, oh dad, I want this, because maybe she was a favorite girl, the dad anafanya.
Yeah.
But sasa wewe ukimwambia no I can't, anaanza kuthrow tantrums. See, I wouldn't date a girl with
With
daddy
daddy issues.
issues.
Hmm. This other one.
Mm-hmm.
Women with numerous tattoos and piercings. I don't know. I don't know why you have a problem with how someone decides to look. Kwanza kwa piercings already niko out. Like, if I want to do something with my body, it is my body.
Yes.
Just because I have a tattoo does not mean that I am not wife material. Just because I have numerous piercings does not mean I am wife material. The same way, I wouldn't be like looking at a guy and think, he has too many tattoos, or maybe would I? I don't know.
Me, I would. The same. I would.
Come to think of it, can you marry a guy with so many tattoos, or date a guy with so many tattoos?
No. So even me as a man, I wouldn't date a girl with so many piercings and so many tattoos.
How many are many piercings?
Sasa hapo, it is relevant to everybody. Maybe you feel okay with 2 or 3, but maybe I'm not okay with 5. I don't want a girl with piercings here, or like a man with a piercing here, a piercing here, a piercing here. That is too much.
Okay, I think piercings are cute, but tattoos maybe not so many. You can have 1 or 2 or 3 or maybe even 13, but maybe the size.
Thing is, as a woman, would you date a man with so many tattoos?
I think it depends.
With what?
With where they are.
What
like, I don't expect I would like to date a person who has tattoos on the face.
Oh, the location of the tattoo.
Yes.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
Yeah,
yes.
Like if you've tattooed your face and maybe up to your neck, do whatever you want with the rest of the body, but up to here. I think
so
that's
you're
where
okay
I draw
with
the
dating
line.
someone with tattoos huku kwa mikono, huku,
yes,
sijui huku.
Bora si kwa uso.
I think I wouldn't, but then again, you can meet someone who is a decent person, who treats you right, he's humane, he's all things, and then the tattoos aspect never matters. But on personal will, without knowing them, I wouldn't date them. But maybe after I have known them, okay, these are not people that I'll look at and be like, oh my God, he's so amazing, But maybe after I have like spent time with them, learned them, knew who they are, I would be open to being with them on account of who they are as a person.
But there's that aspect of the initial attraction.
The initial attraction, no. I wouldn't be attracted to someone with so many tattoos and so many piercings.
No, you're a guy, because traditionally guys make the first move. You're a guy, you see a girl with many tattoos. Do you approach them and find out if they're a good person, or you just let it slide?
Unajua, it's not often that you start approaching someone on first encounter. Sometimes you approach someone based on different interactions and many interactions. Ama it's someone you've been with, ama you went to school with, ama you work with, ama you go to the same social joints together, and then you actually start noticing, I know I judged this girl, but really she isn't as she look.
Yeah. Judging a book by the cover.
Yes. But on like my first encounter, if I see you, I'll start be like, probably not.
So it's not bad to date a girl with a lot of tattoos or a lot of piercings. It's like it's so hard for you to decide.
I'm like, if I'm not comfortable letting a man with so many piercings and so many tattoos, I understand if a man is not willing to do the same.
Yeah, I'm like, don't judge the book by the cover.
No, like the only time, like the only exemption I would
if they're a good person,
after you've spent time with them and you actually realize, this guy is so cool. This guy anakaa tu at a hardcore, but he's softy.
I think you should give everyone equal opportunity.
No.
Because you might decide to ignore
when I
them.
see you at the first time, I wouldn't be like, oh, I should give you equal opportunity. You're here, you're written all over your body. The other person is not written all over their body. I will not give you the same starting point. I'll give him a 10. I'll give you a 4, and then you will struggle to match up. So if you match up well,
so this person with a 10 will have a lot of room to disappoint you.
no
And
like
this one with
to
a 4 will have a
no
lot of room to impress
no
you.
not really. Unaona, the person with a 10 will have a lot of struggle maintaining that 10.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
si unaona ni kama when you're going somewhere, if you start performing at a 10, how will you improve from 10?
Yeah.
But if you start performing at 2, you have a lot of room to
To
improve.
improve.
And also unajua consistency is very hard. Consistently being a 10
It's
is
hard.
hard. But being a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
It's easier.
it's easier. You can be like at 8 and then you go back to 7 and I'll still tolerate you because I have seen where you've come from.
Yeah.
Yes. So I wouldn't judge any man who says they cannot date a woman with so many piercings or a specific piercing.
Wow.
Yes, mlisema mwezi wa demu wako na
Na nose ring.
na nose ring. I'm not
Huh.
talking to you.
Higher. If she has many body counts, she won't bond.
How will you know like someone has many body counts?
Unless maybe you're part of the chain.
I think that is not you need to judge, but okay, let's just put it like this. If you know, so unajua, you know, like maybe unajua this girl sleep with, you know, or like after she sleeping with is usually Mimi, I wouldn't really date someone who is from one relationship to the next relationship to the next relationship. I don't care if it was sexual or not. So let's not put it sexually because you wouldn't really know if this person has this many body count. I'll tell you I have a 3 or a 1. I'm not having sex, you know, but you really would not know. No, nah. But maybe relationship, someone will tell you, oh, I was in this relationship after this long. Okay, having many relationship is not a problem. Like at what intervals? Because there's no way you will be in a relationship 3 times in a year with 3 different people. So for me, I wouldn't date a man like that. They're not stable. They do not even love themselves to give themselves grace to heal when one relationship was
And
over.
you're like jumping from one to the other to the other.
Yes, where is you really? I don't even know the real you, and you're just afraid of being alone.
Maybe they are just using the theory that you find one job when you're in another.
No, unaona, unajua it's better for a man who was like I am in a relationship, then I fall in love with another person and I decide to end this relationship.
Yeah.
That is way better.
Mm-hmm.
Because actually, if I was falling for another person, it really means this one was not really working. You never really loved the way you thought you loved the person was not the same way as it was actually was. So I would date a man who was like they fall in love with another person when they this relationship and they decide to end it. Sijasema aendelee na hii relationship juu na hii ingine. I'm not talking about a man who decide to date them both. I'm talking about a man who makes a decision to think like this relationship is not working anymore, and I think this relationship with this person would work, and they decide to end this, and they will tell you I'm in a relationship, blah blah, blah, and we decide to make it to leave it at friendship level.
Oh, friendship.
Yes, like we are friends, or like I really like you. We are not really friends, but I like you, and I will tell you I like you, but I'm in a relationship. So if I actually see you're a better person to be with than my actual sorry.
Excuse me.
Then that's fine. Hata mimi siwezi date mtu ana jump from one relationship to another.
Okay, will you date a guy with a high body count?
How will I know they have a high body count?
Some guys are so proud they'll tell you,
I would
I'm at
not.
number 600.
I would not.
And they're trying to show you their prowess.
I wouldn't. The same way you as a man, you shouldn't. Because that is actually someone with attachment issues. They cannot even attach.
But they don't even know if they are an addict.
Yes, like as I could bond, that person is hard because they don't feel like me. I will not talk about sexuality. I'll just talk about relationship. I will not date a man with many relationships, many exes. I would not.
What if he's telling you you're the one? That's why it didn't work out with the others.
I don't care. That is the same thing they told the other people. So really, you hear him to me. I don't know, but if especially mostly hata zinaweza kuwa ni relationship mingi lakini someone who do not give themselves time to heal, that is not someone you should be with. That is not someone who loves themselves enough to be alone. That is someone who cannot be happy alone. They don't even love themselves to be alone.
So if someone is not used to being single, they don't love themselves.
Yes. You cannot stay alone.
But I agree,
because you need to be validated every other time by another person.
I agree on in terms of like you need to date someone who understands what it means to be single. Because if you date someone who has been from one relationship to the next, that person does not know how to be alone. So even when you break up, he'll obviously jump to the next.
Alafu this is someone who will take a lot from me.
Yeah, they'll drain you.
They will drain me because they don't love themselves. They don't know how to love themselves.
Yeah.
So every other time, I'll be taking my love to them every other time. Probably not even have space to love myself.
Yeah, and they'll be too dependent.
Every other time, oh, Siji, I'm not comfortable with my weight. I'm like, bro, I love myself the way I am, really. So if someone tells me about my weight, I will take it the way I want to. If it's a compliment, I will not be so high over it or so negative about it. Because I am okay with it.
Yeah. On that one, I agree. Okay.
Would you date someone with many body counts?
As long as I don't know about it, it's okay. But if I learn about it, I don't know, that will probably change how I see them.
Would you date a woman? Like, do you think men should date women with many body counts?
I think they're free to decide.
No, unless someone used to be a sex worker and then they stop, then maybe you should date them.
Maybe they've seen the light.
No, like, so if you're a sexual worker, it means
you are retired.
That was a job.
How do I know if you did it for the money or for fun? I don't know. Maybe you decided, since I enjoy it so much and I know I can get paid for it.
Why not?
Why not?
Would you date a next sex worker? Because there are men who are sex workers as well.
No. The same way I wouldn't date a porn star.
It's the same thing. They're all sex workers.
Oh, it's the same thing.
Yes.
Why? It's gotten lost. There was another last one. Okay, I don't imepotea, but it was saying I usually date a woman in their 30s, have no children, and they love the church too much.
Okay, we can break them down. One point at a time. Do you think it's okay for a man to marry a woman who is over 13?
Of course.
Based on what?
Based on if they're a good person, based on how the relationship is. Of course, if there is an attraction there, you won't tell me that you will stop at the age. Unless the guy is extremely young. I wouldn't advise for someone who is like 20 marrying a 30-year-old woman.
So upon the age difference, it depends with the guy's age.
If you're like 35 and she's 30, or maybe if she's 35 and you're 33, that's okay.
Okay, so we put our thoughts in, like, from the author's perspective. Why did you think the person who said it?
I just think because he's a douche.
No, don't you think like they thought like a woman who's over 30 and not married because probably they think they are
a red flag?
A red flag.
You don't know why she's over 30 and not married. Maybe she was studying. Some courses they take a lot of time. Maybe she was doing medicine, maybe she was doing law, maybe she was doing her master's, her doctorate, and it took a lot of her time. Mm, maybe she gave up on love. Maybe she has a history. Maybe she has daddy issues.
Or
Uh-huh.
the
She hasn't met the one.
or
Or maybe she went through a heartbreak and has not healed.
no, she's just a hard woman to deal with. Why not? Are you not saying that?
Okay, some women are evil. But
Like
doesn't mean
it's
that you're over 30, you're among those ones. Even a 20-year-old can be
unaweza
extremely
kuwa tu you're
evil.
just a toxic woman and it's hard to deal with you.
Hmm.
Maybe that is what the person who said it thought.
Okay, there's something I've heard that women have an expiration
Expiration.
date,
Uh,
and men tend to get
Final.
disinterested
Mm.
when they get maybe to 40s. I don't know, 35 there. I don't know. What triggers that? I don't know. I'll have to ask, but I've heard it from a guy.
Um, I don't know. Would I date a woman? Okay, the same way. If a man is not married, never married, at 45, it's questionable for me to be with them.
Why aren't they married?
Why are they not married?
Maybe they had. For men, mostly, I find maybe they're dealing with alcoholism.
No, sometimes they were not married until they are 40 something.
Mm.
Do you know how men are dependent? They're not as independent as women are. They like, you can look as a man and you'll feel like, hey, anaweza jisimamia mwenyewe, but not really. Si venye wewe unaweza jisustain as a woman.
So you're saying if they are.
So the same way, if I have a question into, I think we all have like a question on the age of a person to marry, but in a depend na what age. So kama mimi 45, I feel like
with the unmarried, they have no children.
no children. They hawako ati wamejoin cult clique ati walikuwa fathers and then they decide to quit, you know. Like I wouldn't be like fast to go into it. Like the way I would with a man who's 35 or 30 or 33. You know, at I'm to 35, you like start question, why are they not married at 35? You question yourself. So it is okay for a man to question why me as a woman, I'm not married and I'm 30. They have a right to, but that doesn't mean they
should not date you.
Yes.
They should date you to find out.
No, they should ask themselves why I'm not before they date me.
But it's so weird. Someone just approaches you and asks you why you're not married at 30 and they're not showing any interest in you.
No, they will not ask you if they're interested in you, and then they find out you're 30, they will want to be friends first. Keep it friendship before they date you. Compared to if I'm 25 and I'm single, a man does not have many questions of why I'm single.
But it's only 5 years.
Difference. 5 years is a lot of time.
Huh.
Yes. The same way I'll be like 35 and you're not married. You know, just sometimes I'll get to 30 and I'm not married because I was in a relationship that lasted 8 years and it didn't work. So it took most of my youth, of my 20s.
Yeah.
By the time I'm 30, I was took 2-3 years to heal from that relationship before I was in a position to be in another relationship. So this man, if they know I was in a long-term relationship that really did not work, if before they date me, they are feeling like, is this something I'm ready to put my coin on it, you know? So I think it depends with the reasons why. But I'm not saying they shouldn't marry women who are over 30 because wengine wetu.
But you know that the issue is not that they are over 30. They're saying they are over 30, unmarried, no children, and they love church. It's like a whole point.
Okay, so we can.
So they can. So I assume they can marry if they're over 30 and they have a child and they are unmarried. If they are over 30, they don't have a child and they are divorced.
Okay, can you marry like change women like a man? Can
Change women.
like change, can you marry a woman? You put it as, would you marry a man? What
Mhm.
is your age limit and you know that this person is questionable?
I think if you're 50 and married and no children, that's questionable.
40.
40 is
40.
not that bad.
40.
Yeah.
40 is not that bad.
40 is not that bad.
Okay.
But 50, hmm, you're nearing your.
No, at 50, you would feel like you maybe think maybe this person is not fertile.
Okay, no children, to try your no children.
Mm.
But unmarried, yani not even, don't even say that maybe they were married. Like, hata kama you had someone and you were cohabiting.
It was a decision not to have kids.
Yeah, you can have a decision not to have kids.
Or you were in a relationship that you were thinking we'll have kids someday, and then maybe after maybe 3-4 years, then at the fourth year it does not
Of
work.
course, I'll have questions, but if you answer the questions,
Mm.
it's okay. But I will put you on a high alert. Like,
Okay, let's go to the second point.
Uh-huh.
Is it okay for a man to marry a woman with a kid?
Yeah, it's okay.
Would you marry a man with a kid?
No, I wouldn't,
Why?
because I'm allowed to have double standards. Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm open to either. I'm okay if a man feel they wouldn't date me because I have a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
my probably mostly unapatanga they don't want to marry you. The question is, okay, the reason of not dating me is not because I have a baby. It's because the father of my dad, my
Child.
child is present.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
What
I
if he's
think
absent? What if he's smashed
most
and passed?
men, most men, if you have a child and the father is not present, they mostly do not have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
70% don't have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But if the father is present, 70 of them
Mm-hmm.
have a problem.
Yeah, I understand, because
Mhm.
that's how you'll have to deal with the ex. Okay, in my case, okay, let me say, it depends. If I'm a guy dating a woman with a child,
Mhm.
it depends on if I'm okay with it or not. Like, there's
Are
no
you okay
way
with the dad being present or not present?
he can be present, but depends on how he's present. He can be present,
Mhm.
but then these people, you can just notice it's not only about the child. It's like they have some unfinished
Unresolved
issues.
issues.
It's maybe they're having some retirement benefits. Like, that one, I'll be like, no, 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 hell no. um there's also, if I am ready to love the child. When you decide to love someone with a child, you
Mhm.
should be prepared to love them and that
And
child.
that child.
Yes.
True.
So if you're not ready to become a dad or become a mom, you should not date someone with a child.
True.
Yeah, the same way for a lady, if you're not feeling like you will be responsible for this child as a mom, then don't get into it.
True. Makes sense.
And for a mom, it is more demanding. This guy may be okay. Obviously, in the household, as Africans, the mom is responsible for taking care of the children.
Yes.
Are you ready to take care of this child like your own? Are you ready not to feel some type of way, like you're feeling drained because he came with a child? Will you treat this child as your own? Will you do everything for this child the same way you will do for the other? And then there are these men, if they come with a child, you're given like rules. You should not do this to my child. You should not do this. And since you're the one staying with the child, utajua kama ana misbehave. Now he'll tell you, don't discipline the child.
I think for me as a person, I would date a man with a baby if the baby is staying with their mother. But if I have to be a stepmom to the baby,
Mm-hmm.
to the kids, I wouldn't.
Because you know yourself.
Because I know myself, I would
Yeah.
feel like I want to tell you this, but maybe I'll either not discipline the child at all, or
Yeah,
when I discipline the baby,
it will bring issues.
it will bring issues.
Yes.
So if they're staying with the baby, no. If the baby are staying with the mothers,
It's okay.
yes.
If they're coming to visit, it's okay.
Yes. Now wasikae sana.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it depends on, are you ready for this responsibility? And that's why I think it's important that you know at the early stages, and you see how this guy reacts. Like, if you treat their child like this, but you know, it's so inaitwaje, it's so limiting in the woman's side, because you'll stay there with the child, you'll be the one responsible for taking care of this child when he goes to work, unless you tell me he's a stay-at-home dad.
But see, pia unajua, I think ni hard for men to date me when I have a baby than for me to date a man with a baby, because most babies stays with their moms.
Now, I'm saying, in the event that the dad is the one staying with the babies, there are people who stay with the babies. Kama Obina stays with his children. Can you date Obina?
No. See, okay, Mimi, I wouldn't date a man who stays with the babies, because I don't even love babies in the first place.
That's why I'm saying, for it can be, there's kind of some double standard, because me, I know how it is. If you date a guy with a child, you know, guys they tend to be more demanding.
But unaona kama ni baby daddy na the mother ana support the baby, that's fine, as long as I think my break whatever is if they're staying with the baby.
Yeah,
if they're
me,
not
I'm
staying with
saying
the
in
baby,
the event they are
it's
staying
okay.
with the baby.
If they're staying with the baby, no.
In the event that they're staying with the baby. Anyway.
But kuna beshte yangu aliniambia, if the girl, if huyu dem mtoto wake ni dem, he can. If mtoto ni boy, he can't.
Why? What is his intentions?
No, like, it is not about intentions, actually.
What is it about the gender?
About the gender, according to how he understands it, is like the girl will grow up and live, but this man will always be present.
That one is
it is not a red flag, it's a preference.
Where are you thinking that the girl will go?
No, like, really, unajua, men depend to be dominant at some point.
Okay, I don't.
Or they feel like
tell him just
a girl
to stick to people without children.
Or the girl is like, gonna feel it's easy to deal with a girl than a boy. Juu anaona kijana anaweza kuwa mkubwa hadi aanze kumtandika. Yes.
Hey, when they start asking about the gender, hapana. You know, even I think even a mom will be comfortable with dating someone if they have a son, because they'll not be afraid to leave the guy with the son. But now telling me he's comfortable with if she has a daughter, you know, I'll even be scared to leave him alone with my daughter.
No, like, okay, it depends with the reasons. Ni kama tu venye wewe una feel it's easy if your man has a child mwenye ni kijana kuliko dem. Maybe you feel like disciplining a girl is too much. Then unaona, kwanza, especially a teenager, it's easy to deal with a boy than a girl. So if teenage. Yes.
How?
Ni kama vile unajua who was okay when you're a teenager, wazazi wanakuanga strict kwa nani?
The girls.
Why?
Because they don't want them to get pregnant.
Is that the one? Kwani boys cannot get girls pregnant?
Even if they get girls pregnant.
Because it's hard to deal with a girl teenager.
Let's agree to disagree. Anyway, we are so out of topic.
So a church person.
Yeah, a church, mtu anapenda kanisa. Okay, me, I wouldn't say mtu anapenda. Okay, yeah.
Would you date someone?
I wouldn't date someone who, okay, unaweza penda kanisa, yes, but not a sycophant. Ushaiona wale watu hadi unapelekea pasta gari yako, unapelekea pasta pesa yako ulikuwa umeweka ya mjengo, unapelekea pasta, those ones, no. That one I agree. Someone who is so much into the church in that sense, yeah, sycophancy, not in the sense that anapenda kwenda church, anapenda kuomba, that one is okay, but kuna ingine ni too much. because I know this woman, she took a loan ya kujenga nyumba. And then she told the pastor, and the pastor was like, give me that money. So imagine unapeleka pesa ya kanisa na ni loan. Na hukufanya hata intention yenye ulichukua loan.
Pastor akaambia huyu msichana atoe sadaka.
Yes, 10%. Unaenda unapeleka pesa. Ni loan. You took it for a certain job. You did not do that job you took the loan for. Na utalipa hii loan, utalipa na interest. For what? Juu unapenda Mungu.
Okay, sasa hapo the problem is not the girl loving the church. It's
what?
a girl who can be manipulated by anyone, or
Not
they can
anyone.
be taken advantage of.
It's the church.
Mtu kama huyo ni kumaanisha hata wewe kama husband can take advantage of that person.
Imagine huwezi. Unaona vile watu walifanyiwa na Mackenzie. You can try to talk to someone. Hata unaweza jaribu kumanipulate, but vile ameenda, yani tu
ashaenda
ameenda. And I don't know how they do it. I don't know what they use. Yani tu unaona mtu amepeana kila kitu kwa kanisa. Amebaki hivyo. Yani mtu alikuwa very successful.
Yes.
Amepeleka kwa kanisa.
Si uniona kwa hiyo ni story ya Mackenzie kulikuwa na ya hostess or something.
Yeah. It's not, they cannot be manipulated by anyone. They'll be manipulated by that person who is taking them to heaven.
Utaki watu waende mbinguni.
Wacha waende wenye wanaenda, but mimi sitakuwa hapo kuumia wakienda.
I think it's okay to date a church person, but not too churchy.
Yeah.
No, not like too churchy is okay. It's how they interact or how they understand religion that really matters.
Yeah.
Kwa sababu unaweza kuwa you're a church person, you go to church every morning for the morning glory services.
Yeah.
You attend all maybe zinaitwaje fellowships, and you go to church every other day. But you're not manipulated by the church. It's how you understand, you're understanding with for religion, because you can be too much of a church person, but you're not brainwashed.
Yeah, that
you know
makes
where
sense.
to draw the line.
But it will be hard. Mimi nikiona unaenda church Monday to Monday, hapana.
Sasa kama naenda Monday to Monday morning glory asubuhi every morning, I don't think it's a problem.
Kuna siku hata nitaanza kushuku kama kweli ni kanisa unaendanga.
How? It's morning glory.
It's me.
In the morning.
It's me.
I am going to the morning glory service to pray and go to work.
It's me.
And maybe attend the lunch hour during my break hour.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, and attend fellowship.
You know.
And go to church on Sunday. Hello.
I'd rather be into someone who's more spiritual than religious.
Okay. Unaona hii story, spirituality, religion, sijui nini. Most people who are spiritual are also religious.
It's okay.
Ni percentage kidogo sana kama iko yenye ni just spiritual. Labda ni ile spirituality ya I know God. That is not spirituality. That is just being like,
it's a belief.
Yes, it's just believing that God exists and I can pray and that's it. You're not spiritual. You're just a believer. They're two different things.
It's okay. But me, I'm telling you, for me, I will not date a person who goes to church on Monday to Monday. Hey, hapana.
I would.
Okay. Any more points?
I really would. Would you date a woman who drinks alcohol and smoke weed?
Oh, that. Weed, not so much. But alcohol also depends on how much alcohol she is taking.
If I was a man, I wouldn't.
Like, you know, there's those people who are social drinkers that ata drink only on maybe kukiwa na occasion, but si eti anajinunulia pombe ati akwe nayo kila siku anakunywa kila siku ako party.
Oh, it depends with the drinking.
You know, there is drinking yenye ni like maybe she's haizi kaa bila kukunywa pombe.
Okay, basically ati inaweza kuwa ni mtu anakunywanga every weekend.
Yeah, every weekend is okay, but
no, every weekend is not okay for me. I wouldn't.
What about a guy who drinks? For men it's different.
Ata mimi, for a man who drinks the same way, I wouldn't date a man who drinks every weekend. I wouldn't.
Okay, you know, there are okay, most bachelors, they drink every weekend
Then I wouldn't date that person.
because they don't have a social life.
I wouldn't date that person.
And when they meet with their friends,
Kwa sababu mimi, I am not married and I don't have a social life. Do I drink every weekend?
you're a girl,
So
so it's different
mko
for
na
you.
you like mkisema mko na tuko na double standard whatever, you also have double standard when
Yes,
it comes
and
to
I
gender.
agree. I have double standards.
No, really, like kama mimi mwenyewe sikunywi pombe every other weekend. It also means I'm not comfortable with a man who drinks every other weekend.
But unajua maybe kuna weekend yenye amechoka atashindwa kwenda bash.
Kwanza hata I wouldn't date a man
But
who
let
clubs
me tell you, I will date a man who drinks
over a
over a
man.
man who doesn't drink.
Why?
Because when you know a man who drinks, when you don't find him in the house, you know where you'll find him. Utampata huko akikunywa. A man who doesn't drink, when he's not at home, ako happy.
Chilling with your friends.
Doing what sober?
What do you do with your friends when you're sober?
I'm a girl. Girls are different. They'll go shopping. They'll go to the mall. Wataenda wakule moshene. Wanaume watakula moshene. What are they doing?
So a man should not drink and go out.
Drink and go out as
Or
in,
go out.
that, you know, I am actually biased on this. I think a man who does not drink, saa zile yuko kwa nyumba, is probably cheating.
And that's a you point.
Yes.
I think a man can be out of my house and I'm going out with them and they are not dating, but hawako kwa nyumba, and that's okay. Probably that is why I'm okay dating someone who's religious, because if they're not drinking, they're not in the house. They are in church.
Take it as a nini, as an individual case. They are not religious, they are not spiritual, they are just not drinkers.
And they are out. They are going out.
What are they doing out?
Anaweza kuwa ameenda, maybe ameenda hike.
Bila wewe.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Naweza kuwa
okay, but hike ni ya mchana, nasema usiku.
Usiku probably
anafanya nini usiku?
Probably anapenda football. Probably they were late at work.
Football inawachiwangwa wapi?
Hata kama anaweza kuwa anawachia club na hakunywi. You can go to the club. You can go to the club and you do not drink. Do you think everybody who goes to the club drinks?
Most of them.
But not everybody.
But most of them.
But not everybody.
Na hawa not everybody. Umeenda kwa club ukapata wanaume wangapi na Del Monte?
Wako lakini si wengi.
Exactly.
Wangu atakuwa hao si wengi. I don't know why you all think like if a man does not drink, they are cheating. There's so many.
I've not said all, I've said me.
Most of me, because you think.
I think like
yes.
That.
So that is why I'm saying I don't know why you guys think, you included, that if a man who does not drink cheats.
Out of experience.
You dated someone who was not drinking but they were cheating.
I dated someone I know.
Okay, there
someone.
Still kuna hawa wenye ni alcoholic wenye unataka na wanakunywa pombe na wana cheat.
Ni sawa, but sasa hata niseme
wewe you will not judge them harshly as you will judge someone
who is sober doing it. At least nitasema huyu mwingine ni pombe ilimuonyesha.
No, mimi as a man, don't date a girl who drink a lot and smokes weed.
Exactly, drinks a lot.
Do not.
Not ati ile social drinker. Kama ni social drinker ni sawa.
Kama ni social drinker ni sawa. Kuna a degree of tolerance.
Yes.
Hata mimi for a man, I would not date a man who weeds.
Yeah, hata mimi weed.
Drink alcohol. I would not.
Like completely.
See completely. Kuna wenye hata completely. I'm okay with someone who does not drink at all. That is my number one preference.
Number two.
Number two
ile social drinker like for event.
Na nile.
Ukiwa na mabeshte.
I really like him as a person. Nile. Wacha tu ni compromise. So I am okay with a man saying, do not date a woman who drinks. Do not date a woman who smoke weed, cigarettes, blah blah, who totally do drugs.
Anyway, let's
So
just say
nasema
everybody is free
inastahili
to
tu
choose whoever they want.
ikiwa all side, but I'm not saying I really cannot completely date them. Ina depend. Kuna watu hata wana weed still,
Yeah.
but you would date them.
Yeah, I agree.
There are people who weed and you will not date them.
Yeah, there are some people who overdo it. Like don't overdo. Like kwanza weed. Yani me, I just hate the smell of that thing. Hey, I had a
Same
neighbor.
way we hate the smell.
I had a
of
neighbor
drinks,
who
of
will,
alcohol.
you know, drinks will not smell zikiwa kwa nyumba unless mtu akukaribie kwa mdomo.
True.
But weed, yani tu unapita hivi kwa milango ya mtu unasikia tu inanuka.
Na nini? Na sigara.
Cigar is even worse. I'd rather date someone who takes weed than choose cigarettes. Sigara nayo pana.
Kwanza hiyo hata hakuna compromise.
Sasa sigara, ubaya sigara, it will smell in the clothes, it will smell everywhere.
Alafu najua mtu ni rahisi, watu wengine ni rahisi kuacha weed.
Yeah, cigarettes are so addictive.
Cigarettes.
Cigarettes. Hey, actually, I saw another documentary on cigarettes. I'm telling you, the world is just so bad. Anyways.
Why is it so bad?
Like, cigarettes are worse than weed. Like, it is common knowledge. But since the cigarette industry is so big and it's controlled by big people, there's no way cigarettes will ever become illegal. You know, there was, when, like in the States, there was a time they tried to
ban cigarettes.
But then the industry is too big, they can't fight it. And then there was a time they used to advertise, cigarettes can heal you, cigarettes can give you these benefits, of which they are total lies. But then since they have paid for those advertisements, what will you do?
Now how comes women are so comfortable drinking maju, US blah blah blah, than in Africa?
Because in Africa we have a whole lot of masculine energy.
So it's a masculine energy problem.
And culture and all that.
I once went out, and then, it was a vacay or something, but we had white people. But ile kitu ilinikasirisha, these white people were smoking, like it was across like a boat ride. They were smoking when we are in that boat.
White people smoke everywhere, even when eating food.
Okay, my question is, ingekuwa hiyo the same boat ride with black people and white people, would they allow
the black people to
smoke?
Of course not.
Why?
I'm telling you, I don't know. I think
not really. Hata kama ni dema ama si kijana,
I understand, like, because of the skin color.
I feel like
it's still racist. You know,
it's very racist.
I don't know why in Africa, when you see a white person, you're like, he's a god or something. But when you go to their country, they'll just see you like a fly.
I know. Mimi, I was so angry because I was not understanding why this person, we are here, all of us.
I'm telling you, they smoke everywhere. Kuna time tumeenda kwa hoteli, kwanza in course, you know, they are everywhere.
Yes.
Tuko kwa hoteli, inside the hotel, yani the next table, they are eating while smoking. Hata utakula je chakula. Yani they can't even go to the, of course, kuna smoking zone.
Area, yes.
And then let's go there. And you know, the management won't come and tell them, excuse me, you can't smoke here.
Because, they do not, because they pay more than you do.
Which is so wrong.
So wrong.
It's not right.
Hey, me your time nilikuwa nimejam, I'm like, bro. So maybe there's someone here who is asthmatic and you're smoking.
I think we should have another topic on that. It is so broad.
Racism. Yes.
Yes.
True. Imagine racism is as loud as tribalism is.
Yeah. Anyways, so you agree with all the statements of the kind of woman they should not marry?
Not all of them.
Most of them.
Most of them, yes.
Anyway, marry whoever you want.
Marry whoever you want. Yes, by the end of the day, like unajua, that is my
It's your,
preference.
yeah,
Na mimi nilikuwa nasema, if tables were turned, would I
yeah,
go out with a man who does this? If
yeah,
tables were turned, am I okay dating a man who drinks a lot of alcohol and does weed?
yeah, yeah,
If I'm not comfortable with it, probably if I was a man also, I wouldn't.
yeah,
So
yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Catch you on the next one. Remember to like, share, and